Here is at the back of the island. So when slaves were captured, they were brought to this end at the time. It was meant to suppress or to weaken the strength of African people who were captured by the Europeans before they are taken to America. So this place that I'm right now called Gore Island was a place where slave trade happened centuries ago. So this is what we call the Freedom Coast. This is to symbolize that slave trade is being put to an end. We are live right now at Senegal in Gore Island, and this is a place where African slaves were being captured by the French were brought, and when they are brought to this end, they were put inside this room. They were put inside this room. Inside this room that you are seeing, there are slave houses, there are male apartment, female apartment, there are dungeons here. So the dangerous ones are put inside this room for a number of weeks so that when the ship arrive, they are put inside the ship and of course taken back to America. So this place inside is very, very big, and there are big circle or big chains that are meant to weaken African people who were resisting against European to take them as. So when slaves were captured, they were brought to this end at the time. So they would spend weeks working here because at that time they were busy constructing this island. So this island is very, very big at the time. There are trees, you have different trees at this island at the time. So it was meant to suppress or to weaken the strength of African people who were captured by the Europeans before they are taken to America. Just like in the Gambia, an island called James Island. That island was formerly called San Domingo. There was a local fisherman called San Domingo. Whenever he was tired, he normally go to this island and rest. That's why the local inhabited island after him called San Domingo. But in 1456, the French attacked and captured this island, or the French captured this island. And of course, in 1456, a sailor called Andrew died in this island, and the island was named Andrew Island. So later, the island was later captured by the British. It was called James Island after King James II. So come to Senegal here, Dakar, a place called Gore. The island was founded by the French, and the French take this island or control this island for a period of 400 years. When they were tired, or when slavery or slave trade was put an end, finally they left this island. And this island, as now you can see, is served as a tourist attraction center. So this also part of the island is one of the biggest islands in West Africa so far. One of the place island where slaves have been captured. So during those times, this place was constructed so that at least the water would not penetrate. Because this island is closer to the sea. To have fresh water is become difficult. So this was a place at the time where the African people have access to water. Give water to African people have been captured as. So this place where I'm standing right now, it is called the guard post. So as you can see in this guard post, that's where the slave will be assembled. Or for example, if there's a burning issue that they are going to discuss with our African people, or if there's a tax that they are going to assign our African people to work, all the slaves will be brought here and then they'll be assembled. And they'll be instructed or they'll be ordered to carry out a particular workplace. So this is what they call a guard post. So in fact, as you can see, we have a structure called the Freedom Post here. When slave trade was abolished in 1807, in order to know that slave trade is being put to an end now, this structure was erected to indicate that there is no slavery and slave trade in Africa. That's why in 1807 slave trade was finally abolished, and of course in Africa. So right now, as you can see, we are in Gore Island, the biggest island or the biggest slave trading post in West Africa at the time, where African ancestors were captured from their villages and of course transported to this island. And of course, slaves who have been captured in a country called Gambia, they were brought here in order to properly locate them out, and the ship finally bound to America in the New World at the time. New World was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492. And when it was discovered, they realized that there was a plant, or there's a vast empty land, and the land was very rich for agriculture. That was called the plantations. And at the time, of course, the Europeans were forcing the native Indians to work in the plantations. But when they realized that the work, or the native Indians were not strong to execute their functions or the works in the plantation, they started to capture some of their fellow Europeans. And of course, they realized that the Europeans also couldn't able to do the work. That was the time they started coming back to Africa to capture Africans and to take them as slaves. So this place that I'm right now called Gore Island was a place where slave trade happened during centuries ago. So this is what we call the Freedom Post. This is to symbolize that slave trade is being put to an end. When you go to Gambia in a place called Albreda, that's slave trading, that's the guard post, was a Freedom Post. So here in Gore Island, this structure is what they call a Freedom Post, to show that slavery and slave trade is no more taking place in Senegal or in Gore. And this island has been in existence for a period of 500 years for now. The island was captured by the French, later captured again by the British, but finally it was under the control of the French. So as you can see, the island is a place where the slaves or the Africans who have been captured by the Europeans are brought and they were subjugated. They would stay in this island for some number of years and of course, number of weeks. When the ships arrive from the Gambia, from Guinea-Bissau, from Ghana, the ships will come here and the slaves who have been captured, they were parked in the ship and of course they were taken finally to America to work as slaves. So this is just the entrance to this island called Gorée Island. So I will take you to this island. You can see. So as you can see in this island, these are called what they call cannons. These cannons were used by the French or by the French to serve as to suppress many European powers by this island. They will use the cannons and with the cannon ball to fire in order to indicate that there is a European power that already occupied this land. So this is what they refer to as cannonball. So as you can see, this is a very big cannon, as you can see. It serves as the historical remains for the people who are going to visit this island. So this is also another part of the island. During those times, when the slaves were being captured, this is a place where the Europeans, placed their, equipment. So this is another part of the river, whereby the European will see any ship that is trying to come near to this island. And during that time, for example, if the British are coming closer to this island, then the French will put a cannonball and light a fire to show that this island is already controlled by a particular European power. So this is what they refer as cannons, as you can see. There are many cannons found inside this island. So these are among those cannons that you can see in this island. So right now, as I mentioned earlier, we are in an island called Gorée. So Gorée is an island found in a country called Senegal. So the island was only founded to serve as a place whereby they will subjugate African people who have been captured. Before that time, before the coming of the European, the African people were living large actually in their houses or in their villages now. But when the European came, they were in need of human being called slave, human resource. That's why they captured the people in Gambia, the people in Senegal, the people in Ghana, of course, Guinea-Bissau. They were all packed, and of course, they were taken to Gorée Island. So let me come. So you can see, these are called cannons. So the island is very big. It's one of the largest islands so far in this country. Now, in this island, this was constructed by the French. It's the French who constructed this island, and inside this house there are slave houses. The slaves were jailed, they were circled, and they were beaten. So slaves who have been captured in Gambia were brought to this island together added with some of the slaves here and the slave civil bound. So this is what we refer as for the island. So as you can see, this invasion was not last because it was here for 400 years. It was not built with the use of a cement. It was built by the French together with our African ancestors who were captured by the French, by the British, by the British. So as you can see, it's a very strong wall, firmly built and erected. It is here for years now without having it fallen. So this is ions and minerals. Oyster cells that they are found by our local island is estimated to have. So this is still at the part of the island. Now, so whenever you want to transport it now, here now, and it's a simple and simple. So this island is called Gorée Island.